Welcome back to Searching for Peace. Today we're going to discuss systemizing. To define this concept, I will again refer to Simon Baron-Cohen. Let's call the systemizing mechanism those parts of the brain that perceive patterns and changing information, which enables us to figure out how things work and predict the future. This mechanism works with many similar areas of the brain as with empathy, but this one allows you to perceive patterns in the world with objects rather than with life. While someone with strong empathy has a strong connection with people around them, someone with strong systemization will have a strong connection with the world around them. This again has been corroborated with similar testing as done with testing empathy. What do different levels of systemizing show? Just like the empathy scale, there are 6 levels of systemizing. Again, this is a spectrum, and these numbers were simply applied to give an easier understanding of the system. No one is strictly 0 or strictly 6. As with empathy, while listening to these, you may see characteristics that remind you of people you know. Remember that levels of systemizing does not correlate to that person being a bad person. This means that the systemizing circuit in their brain doesn't allow for this, and it isn't their fault. The only time that they can be blamed or praised is when what they have done is with the knowledge of the outcome of their actions, i.e., if they knew that saying a thing would cause harm before doing it. Level 0. This is a level that exhibits no patterns whatsoever. These people struggle to decipher new knowledge for themselves and can be easily swayed by someone claiming to have knowledge. Level 1. People at level 1 are able to recognize simple patterns such as even and odd numbers. They struggle to figure out novel systems such as how to work a new appliance. These people often avoid math and science. Level 2. This group is able to recognize a pattern if it is pointed out, but they are unlikely to be able to repeat the pattern later. Level 3. At this level, someone is likely to understand slightly more complicated patterns and retain them, but they are still unable to distinguish more complicated patterns without assistance. Level 4. At this point, we are starting to see the ability to be self-taught or be able to decipher things for themselves. This is someone that may be able to figure out how to build or use something without the use of a manual. Level 5. These are people that actively enjoy and search out patterns. Level 5 systemizers are likely to take jobs in engineering, math, and science. Organized systems and patterns bring enjoyment and peace to someone at this level. Level 6. Life becomes more difficult at level 6. These people struggle to be in situations without a discernible pattern. People with autism and Asperger's often fit into this level. When a level 6 gets into an unpredictable situation or deals with sudden change, or any change, they struggle to work with the change. These people also can become aggressive or irate when dealing with idle chit-chat and are likely to end conversations on their terms. Variances. Again, determining what level you are at doesn't mean that level is constant. While a mind with a low level of empathy has been theorized to be repaired, a low-level systemizing brain is unlikely to be able to be changed much. This is, however, a very new knowledge, and that may change over time. Again, systemizing can change depending on other factors. These again include but are not limited to PTSD, waves of depression, lack of sleep, hunger, stress, and the list goes on. No matter what your level is, it can fluctuate. How to learn your systemizing level. Just like the empathy test, there is a systemizing test. This test works very similarly. So let's see where you fall on the systemizing spectrum. Again, remember that this is a natural spectrum, and your level does not affect your morality. This simply affects your natural ability to make decisions, and this can be corrected with knowledge and understanding. Be sure to follow the link in the description below if you would like to take the test and follow along with the results moving forward. Scoring and results. If you took the test, we can determine your systemizing level. You may have noticed during your evaluation that only 40 of the questions pertained to your results. 20 of the questions were designed to distract from the focus on systemizing in order to obtain more exact results. The same process was followed with the empathy test. Remember that your results do not necessarily judge you as a person based on level of good or evil. Again, this simply tells how well a person is able to naturally recognize the patterns in their environment without previous knowledge or study. Now, let's look at the scores. 0 to 19 is low. This means that you rarely or don't see patterns in systems that you see, but this also means that you are easily able to accept change and disorder. 20 to 39 is average. You are able to understand most systems with steady, but they don't naturally occur to you. 40 to 50, above average. You most likely enjoy science and math and seek to have a career in a field involving repetition or deduction of patterns. 51 to 80, you have a very high ability for analyzing and exploring a system. 3 times as many people with Asperger's syndrome and autism score in this range. This means that people with systems this high often struggle with disorganized systems. This also creates a low tolerance for lies, unfairness, and idle conversation without a clear objective. What we have learned with this test: much like the empathy test, this test has been very illuminating for psychologists and scientists. Much like the empathy test, again, we found an interesting bell curve with the results. In this test, we see a very similar result also with criminal behavior. Here, people with high pattern recognition are often able to see when they are causing a break in a pattern and are less likely to alter that pattern. People without pattern recognition are unaware of the natural patterns around them and are then unknowing when they break that pattern or cause a disturbance. This makes them likely to do evil acts, but this again doesn't make them a bad person because it is often from lack of knowledge, which, as we discussed before, is not a blameworthy failure. Applying these tests to good and evil. A basic theory on this is that the lower you are in these two tests, the more capable of doing evil you are. This doesn't make you a bad person. You can't be blamed for lack of knowledge or ability. If you learn another way and choose to do evil, then you would be considered a bad person. With the empathy quotient, a smaller level means that you are less aware of feelings, whether yours or others, and you are therefore more likely to cause harm. This, based on our understanding, is evil. Lack of empathy means a natural ability to cause harm to people. A different ability to cause evil is in the systemizing quotient. With a low level, you are unable to recognize patterns. This translates to a lower systemizing level, meaning you have a natural ability to cause harm to your environment. For these reasons, we can separate types of evil. Someone with low empathy has a high capability of social evil, and someone with a low systematic level has a high capability of structural evil. Each of these can be taken into consideration when looking further into psychology. In the next video, we will apply the concepts of empathy and systemizing to morality.